Need to be a part of, and it could help save a life. New details about young girls and their struggle with mental health.
And we have rain in the area. Some thunder in a few spots. Things a little unsettled to start the week. We have more rain chances ahead, at least for a couple of days before things quiet down. The full forecast is coming out.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
You just heard Ted, an unsettled start to the week. Good morning on a Monday. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Jess Abrahamson.
And I'm Kelsey Marrier. Good morning. Yeah, as you can tell from this live camera of downtown behind us, the roads are wet and the rain is definitely falling this morning. So let's head out to our weather patio where we find meteorologist Ted Schmidt. I'm sure he's using that umbrella as we speak. There it is. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning. Yeah, I was kind of undecided here for a moment there. It had briefly stopped and then the sprinkles started up again. It's because that'll be that kind of morning, a showery morning. At best, you'll have to deal with sprinkles, and at worst, maybe a brief downpour of rain with some thunder. Right now, here's the current scene, a gray picture with some wet pavement. That's our Louis Dodauto camera. Earlier in the program, it was a darker shade of gray, and we had a lot of lightning and downpours of rain. That activity has moved to the east. You see those scattered storms, all the lightning and the orange on the radar. That is now east of Rochester. Still some light rain here at the studio to the west. More of that light rain headed our way, but really, the lion's share of the rain has already moved on to the east. That's where the heaviest rain has been. Here at the studio, 2/10 of an inch of rain since the start of our program when the rain started here at the studio. Overall, in the past 24 hours, we have a little more than half an inch of rain. We have about 6/10 of an inch of rain so far here at KTTC going back to last evening. And more rain from the southwest will at least be in the area until early this afternoon, but not as heavy as the activity earlier this morning. Light rain falling at 65 degrees here at the studio. The winds from the south at 13 miles per hour. In Rochester at the airport at 66 degrees. There's some thunder in Winona there at 64. And Mason City, a little drier, 68 degrees. Right now, look for increasing sunshine in the afternoon. The rain chance holding on through the morning and even a few hit or miss showers in the early afternoon. Look for a high of 80 degrees today, very summer-like. First Monday of June with a decent-looking afternoon with a decent amount of sunshine ahead of us after kind of a wet morning.
Yeah, this is June. We've got the stormy part or very wet part and better weather, too. So all of it kind of in one day. Thank you, Ted.
You bet.
We are learning new information this morning from the Minnesota BCA on the shooting that killed Minneapolis police officer Jamal Mitchell.
Yeah, the agency breaking down the timeline of events leading up to that gunfire. According to the BCA, police were initially responding to a shooting at an apartment. Officer Mitchell was first on the scene. Over the radio, he said he saw two injured men on the street. One of those men has been identified as suspected shooter, Mustafa Mohammed. The BCA says Mitchell approached Mohammed and asked if he needed help. That's when Mohammed allegedly pulled out a gun and shot Mitchell at close range several times. Investigators say Mohammed then started shooting at other officers. They returned fire, one of them fatally shooting him. That officer was also hurt in the shootout.
To honor fallen Officer Mitchell's life, the Minneapolis community came together Sunday. They prayed, sang songs of worship, and shared appreciation for the law enforcement officer. According to Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, Mitchell was not only a member of the department since 2022, he was also a father, son, fiance, friend, and a hero.
There's some officers that are very deeply affected by what happened because they were there, especially those who were there in the first few minutes and tried to stop the shooting and tried to save the officer's life and other people's lives.
Dispatchers working at the time of the shooting were also in the crowd.
A bombshell from the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. The county attorney says she is dropping charges against a Minnesota state trooper, Ryan Londrigan. He was charged with murder for the shooting death of Ricky Cobb II during a traffic stop last July. The county attorney says she came to this decision after Londrigan's defense team presented new pieces of evidence that would have made his prosecution impossible. Londrigan claims he saw Cobb reach for his firearm shortly before he fired gunshots that ultimately killed Cobb. Also, prosecutors say a state patrol trainer claimed he never instructed officers to hold back from shooting into a moving car while trying to get a suspect out of the vehicle. but said refraining from firing at a moving car is, quote, best practice. After these testimonies and working with a use of force expert, the county attorney and prosecutors decided to dismiss the case. The trial was scheduled to start on September 9th.
It has been more than a year after she first went missing, and Madeline Kingsbury's spirit is still alive, thanks to the community of Winona keeping her life and story right at the forefront. The community coming together Saturday on what would have been her 28th birthday. Madeline's body was found in a culvert north of Maple on June 7th. Kingsbury's ex-boyfriend and father of her 2 young children, Adam Fravel, is charged with her murder and is waiting for a jury trial that's yet to be set. Friends and family say it is difficult celebrating her without her physically being present.
I know she would have loved to have fun and eat and dance and sing. So it's hard, but I know that she's watching us and proud of what we're doing for her today in her honor.
In Madeline's memory, organizations like the Winona Women's Shelter and Bluff Country Family Resources attended the vigil with the goal of ending domestic violence. And we do have links to some resources on our website, kttc.com. A new study is revealing some shocking new details about children and mental health. According to Girl Scouts of the USA, young girls are experiencing loneliness.
Yeah, it's kind of a topic we should be talking about, and our Charles Kelly has actually been looking into this research. He joins us now in studio to kind of break it all down for us. So, Charles, tell us kind of what you're learning this morning.
Jess and Kelsey, the new research says 70% of girls between the ages of 5 and 13 are experiencing loneliness. The study says with age, this feeling only intensifies and takes a toll on these girls' confidence. The data shows 86% of girls between the ages of 5 to 7 expressed belief in their ability to take on these challenges. But that number drops to 80% for girls ages 8 to 10. And for 11 to 13-year-olds, only 73% believed in their ability. After looking into this research more in depth, I was able to speak with Girl Scout River Valleys on what the contributors are to these feelings of loneliness and how the group is working to empower these young girls. We'll hear from the organization coming up a little later in the newscast. Live in studio, Charles Kelly, KTTC News.
Thank you, Charles. Definitely an important topic. Former President Donald Trump gives his first interview since being convicted on all 34 counts in his criminal hush money case. The 90-minute interview aired Sunday on Fox and Friends. The former president praising the Republican Party for sticking together around reaction to his verdict and calling the Democratic Party the enemy from within. Trump also says he is okay with the potential for house arrest or jail.
So that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it. I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
You're saying if they tried house arrest or?
I think it would be tough for the public to take. At a certain point, there's a breaking point. But people get it. It's a scam. And the Republican Party is really, they've stuck. They stick together in this. They see it's weaponization of the Justice Department, of the FBI.
Trump is set to be sentenced on all 34 felony counts in New York on July 11th, and that is just days before the Republican National Convention. Closer to home, casting for a cure, some competitive fishing in Duluth is raising money for people impacted by ALS.
Fishermen across the state coming together in hopes of reeling in funds for the cause. The 29th annual Kohler Toyota ALS fishing tournament uses a catch-and-release photo scoring system on a smartphone app, and the tournament director says organizations have continually added new elements to the event year after year to grow participation with a goal of finding a cure for the disease.
We continue to innovate and find new ways for people to get involved. We added muskie this year, which we've never done before, so we're always looking for ways to continue to put on a great show and make sure the anglers have fun, and ultimately we can raise some money.
The tournament is a fundraiser for Never Surrender, and that's an organization that donates money to people with ALS and the medical community for ALS research. According to the group's website, it is at 59% of its goal, with just more than $178,000 raised. It is 6:09 on a Monday. Several Rochester properties are up for historic designation, so we're going to highlight what is going before the City Council tonight.
First, though, we do want to talk about storms that blew through our area last night and whether that's impacting us right now with Ted.
Some severe weather last night, not severe today, but we do have some thunder and some lightning and some rain to talk about this morning. There are some additional concerns about severe weather ahead of us in the coming days, though. The full first alert forecast is coming up right after the break, so stick around.
When severe spring
Looking to the future of Rochester, tonight the City Council has several agenda items that could impact some of our local properties.
Yeah, our Charles Kelly is breaking down what you need to know ahead of the meeting tonight and joins us now in studio. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Jess and Kelsey. First, for anyone planning to attend tonight's City Council meeting, the location is being moved from City Hall to Mayo Civic Center due to equipment failure in the council chamber. On tonight's agenda, one item is to approve the Historic Destination Medical Center's financial support of up to $5 million to improve properties within the historic area. Back in January, we reported that the council designated the historic district. The council says these efforts were to protect these 19th century buildings from potential changes and allow for more grant funding. The Ear of Corn Water Tower, Silver Lake Park, and Soldiers Memorial Field Park are all up for historic designation tonight. The council will also look to authorize a final design and bid for the Silver Lake Park Aquatics area. The current design plan looks to include a new bathhouse, pool, and splash pad that would fit within budget. Once again, that's all happening tonight at 6 o'clock at Mayo Civic Center in Suite 112. Live in studio, Charles Kelly, KTTC News.
All right, thanks, Charles, for that full breakdown. We appreciate that. Making your voices heard, the City of Rochester wants you to hear thoughts and questions related to the Silver Lake Dam project.
Upcoming information sessions are going to give the community an opportunity to hear from the city team on the proposed project, where things are in the process and next steps if the project is approved by the City Council. So part of the plan includes removing the dam and creating a series of cascading pools. There will be 2 sessions for residents to submit questions about this. The first will be in person at the RCTC Heights Center on Wednesday. That's from 6 to 7. And then the second is a virtual session. That's 1 week from today from noon until 1:30. The future of the Silver Lake Dam has been a heavily debated topic as several residents have spoken out against any changes.
D-Day is this Thursday, and a mass parachute jump over Normandy kicked off commemorations this weekend for the 80th anniversary of this important day in history. Allied troops fought from D-Day beaches in Normandy, France, 80 years ago to Adolf Hitler's fall, freeing Europe of his tyranny. The upcoming week's events will include fireworks shows, solemn commemorations, and ceremonies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, President Biden, and British royals are among the leaders France is expecting for these D-Day events.
Here's your first alert weather with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
We're waking up to some thunder in the area. Perhaps you've heard some of that going on. In fact, some of this still migrating east to Rochester. We had lightning earlier in our program this morning. A little bit of a quieter situation now in Rochester, but right now some raucous thunder around Winona. Watching some of that activity moving through Winona into western Wisconsin at this hour. Also up toward Wabasha and moving eastward toward Arcadia. Right now, some showers and some thunderstorms. Here in Rochester, just sprinkles and more light rain to our west. Not as much lightning being detected right now. Leading edge of this activity is where the more intense rainfall is and the lightning is at this hour. Warm front migrating northeastward. Warm, humid air building northward. Temperatures will make their way into the low 80s today once we get rid of some of these clouds. Shower chances taper off. It'll be a bright, warm, summer-like first Monday of June. Right now, here's a look outside with our Lewiston Auto camera. Here at the studio, we've had about 2/10 of an inch of rain in the past couple of hours since the onset of the rain. Now just a few sprinkles outside. Gray skies at 66 in Rochester. Winona, showers and some thunder there at 64. Mason City, 69 degrees. Morning commute does feature the chance of rain. Maybe some thunder for a few locations. 65 degrees, south winds around 15 miles per hour. From here, we'll see things dry out. Sunshine helps us reach the low 80s this afternoon. Tomorrow, sunshine, then rain chances, showers and some storms in the afternoon. Maybe a couple of strong evening storms. Something that we'll be watching tomorrow, mainly during the evening hours. That's with that a storm system as it moves through. Behind that, not as warm. not as unsettled and not as humid for the latter part of the week. Very pleasant weather for quite some time, actually, for the final stages of the week and the upcoming weekend. But future track today, showers and some thunder, most of that moving quickly to the east by 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. Beyond that, still a few hit or miss showers for the latter part of the morning with breaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the 70s this afternoon, low 80s. Maybe a brief shower or two. This is still a possibility until about 4 o'clock of maybe a brief shower or thunderstorm. Quieter weather tonight, temperatures in the 60s. Then tomorrow, a few isolated showers pop up afternoon tomorrow. Most widespread rain develops along a line that moves into the area after 5 o'clock. We'll have showers and thunder in the evening hours tomorrow. Maybe some downpours of rain with perhaps some hail and some strong wind gusts. So there's that small low-level severe weather threat tomorrow, level 1 of 5. From the Storm Prediction Center. That'll happen after 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Rain ends before midnight, and we'll look for quiet weather for most of Wednesday. Level 1 risk for tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Hail and winds, the primary concerns in our area for severe weather later tomorrow. Rain chances, a brief shower is possible late Wednesday afternoon. Otherwise, after Tuesday, things do get quiet for several days. Temperatures looking more seasonable after we spend today and tomorrow in the low 80s, back to more typical early June weather, mid-70s for several days. Look for showers and storms this morning, then some sunshine, 80 today. Winds for the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, a light south breeze, 64 degrees overnight. And your 7-day forecast tomorrow, low 80s again, some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Maybe a brief shower again on Wednesday, but not a severe weather situation there by any means. Breezy and cool on Thursday, and then the weekend looks downright terrific.
We like downright terrific.
Yeah, we sure do.
Something to dream about on a rainy Monday morning.
Yeah, it's a long way off, but it looks good.
Okay, thank you, Ted.
It is 6:19. The state softball tournament brackets have been released. We're going to share where our local teams stack up. Plus, the Twins are on the road this week. We have a preview of their upcoming game against the Yankees next in sports.
KTTC. Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Nathan Ogden with your top sports headlines of the day. The Minnesota Twins bounced back from a loss on Saturday to beat the Astros 4-3 yesterday. Houston moved ahead in the third on an Alex Bregman 2-run homer, but then Jose Miranda came up clutch. A solo homer in the sixth to tie it up, and in the eighth, an RBI double to give Minnesota the lead, which would eventually turn into the win. For the Twins, that means they take the weekend series winning 2 of 3. They improve to 33-26 and get a day off today before a trip to New York to take on the Yankees tomorrow. Check out who made an appearance at the Minnesota Lynx game last night, the champs. PWHL Minnesota with a shiny new piece of hardware to show off. Maybe some of their success rubbed off on the Lynx last night because Minnesota took down the Dallas Wings 87-76 to give them a 6-2 start to the season. It's the best record in the Western Conference at the moment, a stark turnaround from when they lost the first 6 games of the season last year. And the win also a milestone for Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. It gave her 306 career victories, which ties Bill Lambier for second most in WNBA history. She can pass the old Pistons big man on Wednesday when the Lynx travel to the City of Angels to take on the LA Sparks. The state softball tournament brackets have been released, meaning we know what's next for the Section 1 champions. In Class 3A, the Winona Windhawks are representing Section 1 after an extra innings win in the championship over Wabasha Kellogg. The Windhawks earn the 2 seed in the class. In round 1, they'll take on the Section 3 champions Simley. That game is at Caswell Park in Mankato on Wednesday, with first pitch set for 12:30. Not much of a surprise in the seeding for Randolph in Class 2A. The Rockets didn't lose a single game this year until dropping the first game of the section championship to Caledonia, but they won the second, and now they've earned the top seed in the class. The overall 1 seed Randolph may be the team to beat. Their first round matchup is Wednesday at Caswell Park with first pitch set for 3 p.m. The coolest flowers around, the blooming prairie awesome blossoms, are representing Section 1 in the Class A state tournament after a tremendous turnaround in the section championship. And they've been slotted into the 3 seed in the class. Their first round matchup is with West Lutheran Warriors on Wednesday at Caswell Park in Mankato. First pitch is set for 5:30 p.m. That'll do it for your sports headlines this Monday morning. Have a great day.
Back in 1994, the Today Show returned to their original broadcast location, Studio 1A at Rockefeller Plaza.
What made this space so unique was that the studio was street level with what they called a window on the world, a bustling plaza right behind the news desk. And over the past 3 decades, that plaza has become an extension of the show. And with that, the Today team is recognizing a milestone. Here's Savannah in Hoda.
Hey, everybody, we are celebrating 30 years of the Plaza all this week on Today.
We've done it all here, the stage where anything's possible.
The Plaza has become a destination, a place that truly connects us all.
It really does. Celebrate this milestone with us.
The 30th anniversary of the Plaza all this week on Today.
Yes!
Not the ideal morning for a dog walk, but things are starting to dry out a little bit. Just be on the lookout for some showers. Here's our dog walking forecast. We go to Austin. Here's Bear, our featured dog in today's dog walking forecast. Look for a chance of rain or with some rumbles of thunder in parts of the area for another few hours until we really dry out in the afternoon. We'll have increasing sunshine later today. Certainly the afternoon looks better than the morning, but not to say it'll be a total wash up. We're going to have the rain gear ready for a few more hours. So.
Okay, sounds good, Ted. Thank you. It is 6:25. They amaze us every year and motivate us to get off the couch and get moving.
Yeah, another season of American Ninja Warrior kicks off tonight on NBC. We've got your sneak peek coming up next.
KTTC Sports brought to you by Hillers.
NBC's American Ninja Warrior returns tonight on KTTC to begin its 16th season.
Oh yeah, and it's following a milestone season that saw Vance Walker become just the third person to win the show's $1 million prize. Walker is among the ninjas returning this season, trying to make it back-to-back $1 million wins.
Well, as soon as the champagne dries after we give away $1 million, NBC comes down and goes, that was great. Let's not do it again. The course is going to be harder. We're going to push them even more when they're doing their side-by-side racing. Some brand new obstacles to challenge them, but some familiar faces coming back. It's going to be an epic season.
Epic, yes. American Ninja Warrior airs tonight at 7 o'clock right here on KTTC. It is 6:28. A new detour begins today in Leroy that may impact some drivers' commute for the next few months.
And a historic moment for American Catholics as Rochester is joining a national Eucharistic procession. We're going to tell you all about that coming up.